What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Inside the Horseshoe Podcast. My name is Matt, and this is the start of the NFL season. On Thursday, we're going to have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Super Bowl champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then after that, it's time to get back to football season. I am your host for today, Matt, and we're going to talk about some of the news. We got some news about the Ravens getting a new running back, so we'll talk about that. Another running back getting cut by the Saints. So we'll definitely dive into that. I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to start off today with Jonathan Peck. Jonathan, how you doing today, man?
Very good, man. Very good. I can't wait. 2 more days till the season starts. I actually can't wait, and brand new beginnings for my team, and I can't wait for a brighter future.
Absolutely. And then we're going to go over to the man right next to me. He's saying tank for Bryce Young. He's a Houston Texans fan. It is Alec Miller. Alec, how you doing today?
I'm good. Yes, unfortunately, I am a Texans fan, but I'm looking forward to some football this week, and hopefully, I think this is the one game that the Texans can win, so hopefully I can enjoy that.
Hey, look, you got Tyrod Taylor. Here's the thing with Tyrod, though. Goes to Buffalo, leads them to the playoffs for the first time in however long, gets cut, goes to Cleveland, does okay, but it's Cleveland. Then Baker comes in, takes the job. Then he goes to the Chargers, plays all right there too, and then the doctor had to puncture his lung or whatever, and Justin Herbert had to come in and play. So now he's in Houston. So, hey, who knows? Maybe you got a guy.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Yeah.
We're going into this week's game with only, I believe, 5 receivers.
Oh,
all the receivers are cut, so it's going to be a very weird. But we have like 4 running backs, so I guess that's okay.
Hey, we did take your guy though. We took Kiki Cutie, so
yes, he did.
Take your guy.
Yeah, that was not my guy. I did not like him, but
hey. I just want to associate right here the quest for you guys to go 0-17 for the tank.
Hey, yeah, let me get that.
Maybe you should tank maybe next year though to get Bryce though. That's my advice.
Yeah. I'm okay breaking that record. That'd be nice to set that record.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
0-17 record.
Yeah, you got Hamilton to go after now. His name is Alexander Hamilton. And then we got in the comments, I'm going to go there real quick. We got Culture Shock. Thank you for stopping by, man. Yes, we are live. Thank you for stopping by, man. It means a lot. So before we get into it, we're going to bring in some of the NFL news, like I said earlier, and then we're going to predict our schedule for week 1. Culture Shock also says cheers, and then, LOL. But before we get into it, though, I would like to say that if you guys are new, whether you're watching live or if you're watching after this goes live, make sure you click the subscribe button. It would be awesome if you could do so. It would mean a lot to me and the guys here. Also, click live on this live stream so we can get this stream out to many NFL fans. I want to get this out to Colts fans. I want to get this out to Texans fans, Washington fans, all the NFL fans. So let's bump those likes up and let's have a good show today, guys. And then also just comment in the comment section, and we're going to bring up your comments as we go throughout the show.
Give your NFL picks for the week, too.
Yes, and as we go through the games, definitely give us your NFL picks, give us your predictions, because, first week of the NFL season, it's obviously a lot of fun. I hope it's like last year where a lot of the defenses don't do the greatest, and it's all overs, because I'm going to be betting on the over this week. That's what I'm going to be doing. So
nice.
I do want to bring up the first guy I want to talk about. He got cut about an hour ago by the Saints. Latavius Murray had a pretty good year, I thought, this past season. Was he great? Not necessarily, but I thought he did pretty good. I was kind of surprised that the Saints were going to let him go. So I kind of want to go around to you guys. I'll let one of you guys talk first. What are your thoughts about Latavius Murray getting cut, and where could you potentially see him go if a team is looking for another running back?
Go ahead, Jonathan.
No. Go ahead.
It's kind of interesting. I really don't know what's going on over there in New Orleans. I guess they're going to go it alone with Alvin Kamara. But, it's just very odd, especially like right before the season starts. It just kind of – it's weird placement for it. So I'm not really sure how to feel about it. I think that the Saints are probably in like sell now mode where they're just going to try and cut all the cap space they can, and probably you'll start seeing them trade off some pieces. I'm not sure. They might be going into rebuild mode. That's what it looks like.
I would not just say they're sort of rebuilding, but I felt like they need to cut some key players and maybe fix their cap space. Like, go look at their cap space for the last few years. It is literally crack the bed, we'll just say lightly on their cap space and try to do the best that they could to shit some money off of it. So it's not surprising. At least they want to try to get over the cap as possible to recruit some of that money. And that's all I can say about that. I get wish maybe he might go elsewhere, but some of them might be definitely full on that part.
Right. And honestly, for me, I was a little surprised he didn't get cut too. I thought he was going to stay with the Saints. I thought they were going to keep him. I understand their cap space isn't the greatest right now, but I thought at least for this year they would have kept him. But no, they ended up cutting him. So I could potentially see him going off maybe to a Jets. I know they drafted that running back from North Carolina. I know they drafted him. So I think the Jets are an option. I think maybe Cincinnati, if they want to add to their running back group, could be another option. Buffalo could always use another back. Maybe he goes to Cincinnati, which I already said, but maybe that kind of makes sense. And then we got Big Play Slay here. How you doing, Big Play Slay? And speaking of you, I think another place he could potentially go is the Eagles. I think the Eagles could use another running back because I know they got Sanders, and Sanders is good, but I think adding a Murray could be of use for them too. I would have said Baltimore, but after today, probably not. Maybe as like a third running back if they can get him for cheap, but at the moment, I don't really see him going to Baltimore. But speaking about that, Baltimore did add another running back today, and they added Le'Veon Bell. They signed him to the practice squad. Odds are he's going to join the 53-man roster because, they lost Dobbins. They lost, Justin Holiday is his name or whatever? I don't know. He's an Indiana player from basketball. So I was wrong about that. It was Justice Hall. Justice Hall.
Yeah.
Look, it's same name. But no, they lost both those guys for the year. So now they had to bring in another running back, and they bring in Le'Veon Bell. Maybe they add Murray too, but Le'Veon Bell was the addition. What are your guys' thoughts on Le'Veon Bell joining the Baltimore Ravens? And do you really see this as something that can help the Ravens, or do you not think that it will do anything for them?
I think I don't know if it makes it. It definitely makes it better. I mean, with them having lost not just J.K. but Gus as well. So bringing in Le'Veon definitely helps that situation. But I mean, just their whole running back situation is kind of crazy right now, and they're probably going to be depending a lot more on Lamar this year running the ball. So it probably makes it a little bit better. It definitely makes it. I mean, it makes it definitely better than what they were about to go through. Because I mean, if they went in without, they were already in trouble without J.K. But having lost Gus as well, that was a huge blow, I think. So I'm not expecting it to help it much more, but I think they might be struggling to compete for a wild card if this Le'Veon Bell thing doesn't work out.
I will say it wasn't Gus they lost Justice. Yeah.
Sorry, Justice.
Gus is still there.
Yeah.
Gus the boss is still there.
Oh, yeah. So my bad. The loss of Justice I think is gonna hurt, but I mean, hopefully they're gonna be competing because we still don't know what we got with Pittsburgh over there. But this might be. I'm assuming that this is. I'm predicting that this is gonna be the Browns' year to kind of take over the North. So losing Justice definitely hurts that situation.
And then, what are your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
Well, they really do need some depth in the running back position. Majority they lost arguably their top two backs out of the year with injury, and for Le'Veon, I felt more interesting the last few years. Even at one point, he was one of the best backs in the league back in Pittsburgh. And regardless, you feel about his contract situation, his holdout from 2018, all that stuff, plus the shenanigans for Pittsburgh at that point. I felt like a little bit ironic, the last few years of it, is after that 2017 year, his numbers sort of became dip. Even after he got sort of his money contract with the Jets, though, it just didn't feel like the sort of back where he was, though, or didn't get better money. Even That's what people said about last year. Like he went to Kansas City and sort of barely used it. Let's be honest. There, like we didn't kind of forgot he was even there. So basically, he was basically an afterthought with the Chiefs, though. So it does need help, maybe running back right here. But I kind of agree with Alec, though. Maybe it was just sort of like on depth on this point. So probably they might not use him a lot if they used to. So that will be my take on that.
Alrighty. And then going to the comments real quick, we got Colts loyalists in here. How you doing, man? Glad to see you in here. Bell's Revenge. I bet he'll be ready to play at least twice a year. Maybe 3 times. Maybe he'll play 3. But no, I want to go real quick. I did put out a tweet earlier, letting everybody know, hey, the stream's going to be happening soon. And I said I wanted us to hit 400 subscribers during the stream because we were at 394. Right now, just checked, we're at 397. We're almost there. So, guys, if you can like the video, let's get those likes up. And, hey, we're only 3 subs away. So, let's do it today, guys. Let's hit that 400. That'd be pretty awesome if we do so. But for me, with Le'Veon Bell, I like the signing. I think if he was going to go anywhere, Baltimore would probably be the best spot for him because they're going to be a run-first offense. Kind of like Tennessee, but obviously Tennessee has Derrick Henry. He's going to run the ball 95% of the time, and then they're going to throw in whoever. They could probably sign me, throw me in there. The run game's not really going to change a whole lot. It's going to be Derrick Henry. I'll get hit once, be out for the year, and go from there. But I think Baltimore fits well for him. He's going to be able to run the ball a lot more than he would in, say, Kansas City or, just any team in general. I think he would be able to get the ball more often. And this is his last chance, I think, to prove that he can still play in the league, because if he doesn't, perform all that great here in Baltimore, he's done. Like he's probably done at that point. So I do think this is probably his last chance. I'll go back to the comments real quick. Colts loyalist agrees, or Culture Shock agrees with Colts loyalist, and he says, "Let's go, yes sir." We're almost there. So now we're going to get into the regular season, because that was pretty much all the news. There wasn't a lot of NFL news. It's mostly been college football, news and all that stuff throughout the last, I would say last week. So really hasn't been a ton of NFL stuff. There's been some roster moves for the NFL, but nothing that made me go, okay, we got to talk about this on the show. So let's get into week 1. We got the Dallas Cowboys heading over to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. It's going to be Tom Brady going up against Dak. Hopefully Dak is good to go, and he's playing pretty well in this game. Obviously, Tampa Bay is considered a favorite in this game. We're going to get our first look at Micaiah Parsons in this game, too. And obviously, first NFL regular season game of the year. It's something we can all get excited for. So I'm going to start with Alec on this one. Alec, how do you see this game going? And everybody in the comments, everybody watching, let me know how you guys think this game's going to go. I'll go to you guys once we go through Alec and Jonathan.
Yeah, so I was at first kind of like thinking it's going to be a kind of like a blowout for the Bucs. But I don't know. I guess like the closer we get into the game, I'm thinking like that we're, at least in my head, I'm thinking of the Cowboys from last year, but we know how good that team can be with Dak if he's healthy. And that's kind of going to be the key for the Cowboys. They need Dak healthy, like at least 85%, because the rest of that roster is, well, the defense isn't great, and he might have to be bringing them back from a lot of deficits here. So it all depends on Dak, but I'm gonna say, I'm taking the Bucs probably by like 10 points. I think that defense is really good, and they're bringing back everybody. But I don't know. You know how Super Bowl hangover can be sometimes.
Definitely. So now we're gonna go to Jonathan. Jonathan, how do you see this game going?
Well, I think it will be a closer game, and I think it's more showing for both offenses. Though I still think the Bucs will win. I say by 5, and it will be a sort of close game. It depends on the last couple of minutes throughout the game. The defense is a bit of a question mark, even with the additions of Micah Parsons on there, and we'll see if that can, like Alex said, Dallas offense will be very special if Dak is fully healthy. The leg might be surely heal up, and even some lingering question about his shoulder and they're hoping that Dak doesn't throw his shoulder off. So if it does throw off, some scenario happens, I might think it might be a little bit more questionable and basically worrisome right here. So, but that being said, it's going to be a close game. I will still put the Bucs win over the game, so basically by 5.
Alrighty. And for me, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say that the Bucs will win this game too. I think that Tampa Bay is just too good all around. They got to keep everybody that was a part of that Super Bowl team. They didn't lose anybody at all, or at least anybody that would be important to the team. I just think Tampa Bay offensively and defensively is going to be too much for Dallas. I think now with Tom Brady being being a part of the Tampa Bay organization for more than a year now, he finally had a offseason where he can have a training camp, have a preseason, and really get to work with the offense and form that chemistry even more than he already has. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Tampa Bay wins this game rather easily. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to have a big year this year. I think he's coming in with a different mindset. I think he's tired of being considered I got the big contract type of guy, and I'm not going to play all that great for the rest of my career now just because I got all my money. I think he wants to go in. He wants to have a big year this year. I'm expecting Dak to have a really good year as well. So I got Tampa Bay winning the game, though. Like I said, I just think the defense is too good. I think the offense is too good. And again, when you have Tom Brady actually having more than an offseason with Tampa Bay to work on just their whole offensive scheme and everything, and, all that, I think they're going to win the game. Culture Shock says Tampa Bay will win this game, and Colts Loyalist says Tampa Bay's defense won't have a hangover, Bucs for the win. And I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I just think the defense is too good. So now we're going to move on to the next game. Obviously, this kicks off the Sunday slate. First 1 o'clock game we'll talk about today is the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Houston to take on the Texans. We're going to have a new quarterback for Houston and for Jacksonville. Tyrod Taylor is starting for Houston, and Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starter for Jacksonville. We're going to see if the hype is real for Trevor Lawrence or if he really faces that, rookie, what would you call it, the rookie wall, where, all the rookies that hit that wall, the game is too fast for them. They're not used to it, and then, we'll see if they can bounce back from that and play much better. Jonathan Taylor, for example, kind of faced that. Didn't really start off the greatest for them during the year. Had some good moments, had some good games, but he really didn't take off until that midway point of the year. And we'll see if Trevor Lawrence can do that too. Jacksonville has a different team compared to last year, and Houston has a different team compared to last year. One improved pretty well, and the other did not improve at all. I'll let you guys decide which team was that. So I'm going to go to Jonathan first on this one. How do you see this game going?
Well, this is easy. I'm going to pick the Jaguars. I don't see them being good either, but the team is rebuilding, and so building some brand new foundations with a different regime change. I will get them maybe an easy win along with it in week 1 though. So I'll just get the Jacksonville. So we'll see that, and also it will show maybe Trevor Lawrence to shine throughout the first game. So I will get them to buy Jacksonville by a lot.
Okay. So this is obviously going to be a difficult game. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. Anytime you have a divisional matchup, it's always going to be fun, or at least for the most part, it's going to be fun. I actually think Houston's going to win this game. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to probably need a game or two to get used to how the regular season is. I know he played well in the preseason, but preseason is much different than the regular season. I think Jacksonville's going to need a couple of weeks to really, kind of get things together. I think Trevor Lawrence will play pretty well, but I'm still going to give it to Houston. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to play pretty well. I get they're not going to have all their receivers. They have, like Alex said, 4 or 5 guys. I think Cooks is going to have a good game in this. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I do think with Tyrod Taylor being there, I expect him to do pretty well. And with Trevor Lawrence being new to everything, and with that team being pretty new too, as far as guys being in Jacksonville, I think Houston will get the win. It's going to be a close game, but I think Houston wins by like 3 or 4 points. Now we're going to go to Alec. Alec, who do you have in this game?
So I think I might have this as one of the only 2 or 3 Texans wins for the Texans. The thing about Texans and Jaguars, we usually do really well against the Jaguars, whereas like Titans, we'll split the season. Sometimes with the Colts the same, but we usually do pretty well against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I would love for the Texans to lose, but I also don't think that we're tanking. I just think that this is a young team in Jacksonville. They have a decent defense, but it's not as like good as it was that year they went to the conference championship. But it's still okay. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a really good game. But I think James Robinson will too. But I also think that losing Travis Etienne kind of derailed Urban Meyer's like plan for the season. So how he bounces back, we'll see. But I'm gonna go Texans on this one. It being at home really helps too. So yeah, we do pretty well against Jacksonville. So I'll take it. I'll take the Texans.
Okay. And somebody's running a vacuum upstairs, but that's okay. I'll mute myself when I'm not talking. That way it doesn't disrupt the stream. Going to the comments real quick. Colts Loyalist says Texans experience will keep the game close. Texans win. And then Culture Shock says, I will pick the Jags on this one step closer to Bryce Young, which is definitely true. So now we're going to move on to the next game. We got the Washington football team taking on the Chargers of Los Angeles. I'm going to go to Alec first on this one, and then I'll mute myself. Alec, who do you have in this game and why?
So this one's tough because it's going to be kind of a dynamic offense taking on a kind of a dominant defense in this matchup. This is really tough. I really like Justin Herbert, and coming from someone who last year on the show was very like pro Justin Herbert being a bust. That takes a lot for me to say, but I like watching the kid. I think he's exciting. Austin Eckler might make that leap to top 10, top 8 running backs in the league. But with Washington, that defense is man. I'm kind of torn. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the home team, and I'll take Washington. I think Washington might get it done. The defense is under the second year under Ron Rivera. It's only gonna get better. And you know, Fitzy likes to show off sometimes in these week 1 matchups. So I'll say Washington over LA. Very close game.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Jonathan on this one, our Washington fan. That is, of course, a part of the stream. So, Jonathan, who do you have in this game, and why do you think the Chargers will kill Washington?
I wouldn't say about that. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I will say this, though. It will be a close game, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers basically might beat us and basically might air it out right here throughout the secondary. But that being said, I could see our defense basically help win the game, and I could see Fitzpatrick maybe sling it out at least right here to maybe help us win the games in dire situations. And plus, I think the one thing we need to keep an eye on, if Plasma was working, we need to focus on mainly on the running game. Mainly was Antonio Gibson and basically our rookie with Jared Patterson. So I think maybe some good guys will grant on line. So basically we might focus on just running the ball throughout the Chargers defense along with it. So it'll be a close game, but I think my team will actually might pull off the win. It's going to be a close game, and I don't think we'll come out ahead of it.
So this is going to be a really good game. I really do like the matchup of Washington's defense against the Chargers offense. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch in this game. And this will, I think this will tell us if Washington's defense is overhyped or if they're the real deal. Like I personally believe they have a chance to be the best defense in the league. But we got to see them play. I want to see Chase Young again. Can he continue what he did the previous season? But at the end of the day, I'm going to go Washington in this game. I think their defense is going to step up. I think the Chargers are going to play really well too. But I think the difference in this game is going to be that Chargers defense against the Washington offense. I think adding Fitzpatrick is an upgrade over Alex Smith. I think they added the weapons they need on the receiving end. Gibson is a really good running back. Obviously, Scary Terry is going to be doing his thing in this game. And I like Washington's coaching staff. I think they have a really good coaching staff too. I hope they never come up with a name because I do like calling them the Washington football team. So let's not come up with a name, Washington. Just keep it football team, you know.
Also, like they're gonna say they're gonna announce a new name early 2022, so they're gonna do it anyways.
Let's say the new name is gonna be the Washington football team, and then I don't know, add like DC next to it or whatever.
So
it's technically different.
Like soccer teams.
Yeah, like the soccer teams, you know.
Basically, which kind of like Richmond MC from Ted Lasso, basically.
Yeah. But I don't know. I got used to the name. I like it. We were making fun of it earlier when they first announced it. I like it though. It kind of stuck around, and I'm gonna be really sad if they get rid of it. Just do it.
And they have that cool logo already. WFT. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a great logo. Best logo. Your mascot could be a W running around, you know, or just a football. You know, do it. But I'm going to go to the comments real quick.
I will say this, though, before we can move on to the comments, I will say this. Yeah. I'm very intrigued what sort of our fan base can do. Like, have you seen, like, basically the fans' concept art or potential name ideas?
No, I haven't seen them. I might have seen one or two, but I haven't seen a lot of them.
Basically, Red Wolves or Wolves are possibly one of the options, though.
Yeah.
You've seen, like, fans. And if you look on, basically, on the team's YouTube website, some of the names they got, they had some random fans basically sort of their opinions on it, and they come up with like three different names, kind of censored to make sure the free finals of the names are. So it's going to be very interesting. It's sort of like based around the DMV, basically DC, Maryland, Virginia. So I'm going to be very intrigued. I'll just say with that.
Right. Hey, I mean, like I said, I hope they keep the football team. I want it. I love it. But going to the comments real quick, Culture Shock does have Washington winning this game, and so does Colts Loyalist. He also has Washington winning this game. So now we're going to move on. Oh, and we got JDW. What's going on, man? Glad to see you a part of this stream. Thank you for stopping by. Next, we're going to go on to what I think is going to be the best game of the week. I don't think anybody's going to deny that this will be the best game. I think we can all agree with it. It has the best team going up against another team. It's the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. Take them on. Very, very excited to see. I want to go to your guys'. I'm going to get your guys'. So I'm going to go to Jonathan first because we didn't go to Jonathan last time. So Jonathan, who do you have winning this game, and why is it Indy?
Good news is it's going to be a good game. Bad news is it's not your team. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go.
Look, I get it. You like jokes, okay? Very funny, but seriously,
but seriously, I'm not even joking. So I'm actually gonna hit the Seahawks to beat the Colts, though. Not to say like the Colts will not put up a fight, though. They will, but I think Seattle has sort of more one-minded on offense, though. The defense, though, a little suspect in some parts, though. But still, I don't feel like Seattle will pull it off, though, and basically, I'll get Seattle by 10, though.
All right.
Alec, who do you have winning?
All right. So this all comes down to Carson Wentz, man. Does he play? Does he not play? Because if Carson Wentz plays, I would probably pick the Indianapolis to probably blow them out because it all blowing out the Seahawks. So because that defense is just sketchy. It's sketchy, real sketchy, and kind of making me not seeing them in the playoffs this year because of how bad it is. But, I mean, if Wentz doesn't play, it's Jacob Eason, right?
It would be Eason.
Yeah, so now he could totally surprise me and become this, like, huge quarterback that does some great things. But at the moment, I haven't seen enough to be able to confidently pick them. I think it will be a close game, but it will come down to Russell Wilson's experience and just how good he is. So he's gonna have a hard time with that defense, but at the same time, I think he can still keep up. And if Eason's not what we think it is, or what you think it is, it could really go downhill. But if Carson Wentz is playing, I'll change my pick right before the game. I don't care. So, but for now, I'm gonna have to take Seahawks. Sorry, man. I know this is your show.
I will say this: they haven't officially announced if Carson was playing or not. That I'm not aware of. However, the plan is right now Carson Wentz will be playing. He's been practicing. When they said he was going to have limited, practice time at one of the final preseason games, as the vacuum's just running into stuff upstairs. He wasn't just like running on his foot. He was like running with like just full on like anger. Like he was really going crazy on that foot. I fully expect him to play in this game unless like COVID comes knocking on his door or unless something bad happens with his foot. I don't see that happening though. I do expect him to play. So I'll he's listed as the starter right now on the depth chart. So Alec, I will give you an opportunity right now to change your prediction to the correct answer.
If those are the reports, I will take the Colts.
Okay.
But as soon as I find out, I will text you and say,
okay,
I'm changing my answer.
All right. So he's going to Indy. Like a smart person.
I'll go Indy for now.
Look, I'm kidding with you guys. Look, it's all right to be wrong sometimes. It is okay. But I do agree with Alec. I think it does come down to quarterback. Is Eason playing? Is Carson Wentz playing? And I do believe Carson Wentz is playing. They haven't officially said anything, but I'd be shocked at this point just based on him practicing. He's going through everything like normal. They haven't said anything bad yet about his foot. They said everything has been going well. If I ever have a foot injury like that, I want to have that doctor that worked on his foot come work on my foot so I can be back to work like that. I'm going Indy because that's the only answer to go with. So you have, even let's say Carson Wentz doesn't play. He's going to play, but let's say he doesn't. You still have Indy's defense. A top 10, could be potential top 5, top 3 defense in the league this year. They improved on their edge with adding Kwity Paye. That was like their big weakness. That and the secondary, the corners. That's the other thing. So they have improved their defense for sure. Another thing is that offensive line still is absolutely dominant. Their run game is absolutely dominant. They have a great coaching staff. I believe they have a really good receiving core this year. What Seattle has is they have their, quarterback, Russell Wilson, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's going to be difficult to take down no matter what. Then you have their receiving core with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. They're obviously going to be difficult to stop. You have the run game with Carson. He's good. He is a good running back too. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a great game. I got Indy winning this game. I'm going to say by 10. But, look, Carson has practiced, a few times this year, with the team. That could play a factor into it. I don't think it will, though. I feel that the offense Indy runs is something Carson Wentz can play in. Yeah, he might make a few mistakes. And honestly, to me, I'm expecting a couple mistakes. He's not going to play perfect. But I do think he's still going to play well enough to where Indy should win this game. Like Alex said, the Seahawks defense isn't the greatest. Obviously, you have Adams, who's a beast. He's one of the better safeties in the NFL. He's going to be a monster. So for me personally, I'm going Indianapolis. They should win this game. Maybe not like comfortably, but they should win by 7-10 if I had to predict. So now we're going to move on to the next game. And we got the Jets and the Panthers. So I'm going to go to Jonathan again. Jonathan, who do you have winning this game and why?
It's going to be very interesting about this game because it's going to prove two ways. It's going to prove like Sandarno's not really the problem, or basically the Jets are the problem. What happened there? I'm going to go very tempted with the Panthers because this game might be a really better game than a lot of people are giving it credit for. And I can see both offenses can do it out very well, though, but I think I might go to Carolina because this is a very good team, but not really a playoff team because they're 6-10, but even those majority of those losses by one score. So even those games they lost, at least they kept those games very competitive. So I will go maybe Carolina being with the Jets because the Jets still have a lot missing pieces. I still think Zach Wilson will play well with this new offense. So I think it will be a close game, but I'll give it to Carolina. You made it.
I will say, I forgot I was muted for a second. For some reason, StreamYard is not showing all the comments. So I'm going to read the comments that I see. So answering the first question, or JDW said Washington's going to win their game. And then he said, what games did I miss? The games you missed so far was Tampa Bay, Dallas, Jags, Texans, and then Washington and the Chargers. Those were, and then we just got done talking about Indy and Seattle, but you were here for that. Then Culture Shock says hello to JDW, and then he picks the Colts to win. Then JDW, I think he was confused with one of the games we were talking. We're not talking about the Chiefs and Browns quite yet. We will soon, though. And then he says Seahawks who? Exactly. Seahawks who? Who? Yeah, I don't know who they are. DC says drop the link. Follow the Mookie Jones podcast. Colts loyalist says, and then JDW says, did you guys do the Bears Rams game yet? Not yet. We'll talk about that towards the end. I'm just going through what NFL.com's week 1 schedule says.
In order.
So I'm just going in order from there. Colts loyalist says our defense will not let Wilson be the hero. I absolutely agree. Or he won't let him play hero ball. I agree with that. Carson is good, but O-line's got to help him, definitely. I think they will help Carson Wentz. Or if you're talking Chris Carson, yeah, the Seattle's offensive line still needs work. JDW says the Panthers are going to win this game, as does Culture Shock and Colts loyalist. Sinking Bait says if Quiddy can get home, that D will be scary. Him and Dio will be a very smart move. Absolutely. Was a little confused when they took Dio in the draft, but I absolutely agree. Just seeing what Dio could potentially do, if you add him to that defensive line, it's going to be scary. Because he was absolutely dominant at Vanderbilt. He played like he should have been playing at like Alabama or LSU or Georgia. You know, like that's how he looked. And then JDW says Panthers will have more of a pop, and Panthers have weapons, a run game, and a very good defensive line. I took the Texans over the Jags. What JDW says, that Jags team is very young, a new coach, and the Texans have a lot of vets. I think it's going to be a surprise. And that is all the comments. I'm not sure why they're not showing up on my end, but it is what it is. Now, picking this game real quick, Jets, Panthers. I'm going to go with the Panthers in this game. I think the Jets did improve their team quite a bit. I think they added to the run game, which was something they needed to do. It felt like they were trying to improve the team, which is something they didn't do when Sam Darnold was there. I think Sam Darnold is on a much better team right now. He's got really good weapons. The defensive line is good. I think the defense all around for Carolina is a pretty good defense. And I just think you have C-Mac. He's going to dominate in this game. I just think the Panthers have too much. They should win this game rather easily. I don't think the Jets are going to do much. I think, you know, everybody's been going crazy about Zach Wilson, saying he's going to be this great quarterback. Zach Wilson is Sam Darnold 2.0. Like that, he's Sam Darnold, but not quite as good. So Panthers should win this game. I think Sam Darnold's going to have a really good year this year. I'm going to go to Alec, and then we'll move on to the next match, and we'll bring up more of the comments that come up.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's gonna have a good game, but I'm mostly gonna be looking at CMC. I think CMC could have one of those games that Arian Foster had a few years back with those on that season opener. I think CMC could have a game like that. So I'm gonna take the Panthers. Also, I mean, their defense it's not great, but it's also a lot better than what the Jets defense is sometimes. So I'm gonna go Panthers. However, I will disagree with you on Zach Wilson. I don't know if he'll be Sam Darnold 2.0, but I will say I think he will be a little bit better. But that team is a long way from competing for anything. So I'm gonna take the Panthers.
Right.
And also the big what you said though, I think the difference between Wilson situation we have now with the Jets, but with Darnold from the beginning, because at least what Wilson has a good supporting cast and a good protection along to help him out. With Darnold with the Jets when he first got there, he didn't have nobody. So basically, I think there are two different circumstances. So that's why I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, and DJ Moore, I think, is a beast. I think he's stepped on in the league. I like DJ Moore a lot.
Me too. I do like DJ Moore quite a bit, but we're going to go to some of the comments and then we'll go on to the next thing. JDW says, plus Darnold is going to be extra motivated. I do agree with that. I think he's going to come into this game wanting to prove to the Jets organization that, hey, you guys screwed up. You screwed up when I was in New York. So I think he's going to be motivated. And then JDW says, dude, Michael Carter is going to be a beast. I do agree. I just think on another team. I don't know. Maybe he does really well this year, but I don't know. And then JDW also says Jeremy Chin. So now we're going to move on to the next match, which is going to be the Minnesota Vikings going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Obviously, Minnesota made some changes to that defense. Joe Burrow is coming back. This is going to be the first time he's playing in quite a while after that really bad injury. So I'm going to go first on this one. For me, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say that I'm going to give this to the Vikings. I just think the defense is really good. And honestly, I think Kirk Cousins is going to have his way with the Cincinnati defense. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, they got some guys on that offense. And like I said, they improved that defense a lot. They could be a sleeper defense. They could potentially be a top 10 defense in the league. They added a lot to that defense. And Cincinnati, I think they're going to be decent this year. I don't think they're quite there yet, but I do think that Joe Burrow is going to have a good year this year. I think he's going to play well in this game. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I got to give it to Minnesota. I'm going to go to Alec on this one. Alec, who do you have in this game and why?
Yeah, I think the struggling of Jamar Chase, even though I don't think it will continue for long, I think it will still continue at least through the first couple of weeks of the NFL season. Thing about him is he hasn't played in over a year. I think he's got to get that, he's got to get used to playing at game speed. So because of that, I do have the Minnesota Vikings, and that's not necessarily – this isn't the defense you want to play if it's your first game back for Burrow. I think he'll be probably on the run a lot. And Dalvin Cook's going to have a really good year. Who knows with Kirk Cousins? He's going to have a second year with Justin Jefferson, which might be great. Adam Thielen as well. So I'm going to go Vikings in this game.
Okay. Then we're going to go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have in this game and why?
I'll go with Minnesota, though, because at least they have more of a competent offense. Cousins will not win some. He will not lose some games, but he's not going to be the one to win games either. So they still have a good running game, and they did improve on their defense. So I will see. Maybe give it to Minnesota by 10 points.
Okay. And then I'm going to get to some of the comments, and then we'll go on to the next game. JDW is taking Minnesota in this game. He says the Minnesota Vikings offense is better than the Bengals offense. I tend to agree with that. Culture Shock is also taking the Vikings in this game. JDW says the NFL is such a good darn spot for talent right now, dude. Culture Shock also says pray for Joe. Unfortunately, I do agree with that. Hopefully, that offensive line can at least keep him alive throughout the season. Colts Loyalist says Zimmer W Minnesota. And then JDW says there really aren't any terrible teams. I think there's a terrible team or two. I think we'll definitely see that this year. Dallas. What was I thinking? Detroit. It's one that I think could potentially qualify as a terrible team, but who knows? Maybe Jared Goff is the answer. But,
I will agree with that, though. The NFL isn't a really good spot for talent right now. It's kind of evenly spaced in terms of talent. Like every team's kind of got something to look forward to. Yeah. Besides like Detroit and the Texans, I think, but everyone else really has something to look forward to. So I'll agree with that comment for sure.
Definitely. So I do agree with that. Now we're going to go on to our next matchup. It is one of the last 4 1:00 games we'll talk about today. It is the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Can Derrick Henry continue what he was able to do last year. How will Julio do? How will J.J. Watt do for the Cardinals? A lot of questions that should be answered in this game. I'm going to go to Alec first on this one. Alec, who do you have in this game and why?
At first, I will agree. Yes, the Texans have the number 1 overall pick from JDW, so look forward to it. That's sure. Unless Detroit, is Detroit. It's between
unless you accidentally win 1 or 2 games, I think the tag will be ruined.
Yeah, for sure. But this is going to be a shootout for sure. I think both defenses are not great. They're mediocre at best. Even though I really had high hopes for Arizona's defense last year. So there's still a chance, but until I see anything different, I'm going to have to say they're going to be mediocre at best. So I'm going to take the Titans. I hate to say it because I'm a Texans fan. It tastes gross coming out my mouth, but I'm going to take the Titans. Their defense might just be a little bit better than the Cardinals' defense. And I think Kyler might have a little bit of an issue, kind of sharing the wealth, I think. He's got one receiver that's the best of all time, one of the best in Texans history probably. And yes, we miss him. And D-Hop, they have Larry Fitzgerald, who Kyler has a good relationship with, and now A.J. Green. So how will he handle? We saw with Baker, it was hard for him to kind of juggle 2 receivers. Juggling 3 is even harder. So I think that they're going to struggle a little bit, and King Henry is going to continue what he did last year and just kind of open the league. So Titans probably in a close game, but a very high scoring game. So definitely take the over.
Okay. Now we're going to go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have in this game? I think Jonathan is frozen. Okay, so I'll go because Jonathan is frozen. So for me, I'm going to disagree with you, Alec, and I'm also going to disagree with the comment section because everybody's taking the Titans. I'm going to Cardinals. I think the Cardinals offensively, I think Kyler's going to be able to share the wealth. I think he'll have no problem doing that. I think he's going to get the ball to D-Hop. You got to get him the ball, obviously. He's going to be the one who gets the ball the most. But look, I think they have the receivers to do it. I don't think A.J. Green is going to be upset if he doesn't get a lot of touches. Same with Larry Fitzgerald. I think Larry Fitzgerald, which I don't even know if he's even coming back. Like, did he say that he was coming back? Like, he might be.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go. No, you're good. I was like, oh no, everybody's leaving.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume so. I feel like if he wasn't coming back, he would have already stated he's kind of
that's how I'm feeling too.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy that he would give them like a whole off season to prepare for a season without him. So yeah. I'm assuming he's gonna be back.
I'm assuming too. I know he said that he doesn't need to play football right now, but I think he'll come back. I think he'll come in and play. Look, and he's somebody that I don't think is going to get upset if he doesn't get the ball a lot. So I think as far as sharing the ball, it's not going to be an issue. I think Arizona's defense has improved. I think adding J.J. Watt is actually going to be really big for them in like a leadership type of role. I think their defense is going to play better this year. And I mean, the game does come down to what Kyler Murray we're going to see. Like, because there were games last year where Kyler Murray and that offense looked unstoppable. And then there were games where they didn't look unstoppable and they looked like they could be beat. So it's going to come down to, can Kyler Murray play really well, or is he going to kind of lean into that more inconsistency type of player? I think Kyler is going to play really good football. I think he's going to step up this week. One of my fantasy leagues teams do count on him playing well this year. But I'm going to go Arizona. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. I just think Arizona offensively and defensively are enough to take down Tennessee. The Titans' defense is not that great. Once you get past that front defensive line, you're fine. Their corners, unless Caleb Farley steps up and plays really good right away, the corners aren't going to be an issue. I think Arizona's going to have their way with the Titans secondary. That's why I'm giving them the win. We'll get Jonathan's pick when he's back. I think his internet is screwing up. His internet probably crashed, which I can totally understand that. So I'll go back to some of the comments. JDW does say that Dallas is good. I agree with that. I just misspoke. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. He also says, hey, the Texans have the number 1 overall pick to look forward to, which you did mention earlier, Alec. He's taken the Titans easily, he says. Colts loyalist also is taking the Titans. JDW says the Cardinals are overhyped. Culture Shock is taking the Titans. JDW says the Cardinals need a new coach. I do agree, but I think they'll do all right this year. Colts loyalist says Titans will score consistently. Murray hasn't found consistency yet, which is true. And I'm going to look because and JDW says that Larry Fitzgerald retired. I did not see that, but that won't change my pick. But that will there you go. That will surprise me. So Arizona Cardinals website says Larry Fitzgerald says being away from the game hasn't set into me mentally. Did he?
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess he's done. So he's not playing in his game. I don't know why I missed that. Because a lot of the articles are saying that he's going to be rooting for and watching the Cardinals and friends in week 1. I did not know that.
I feel like that would have been bigger news.
I thought it would too, because last I read before this was a few weeks ago, he said he didn't really need to play football, but I didn't read anything about him saying he was done. He said he didn't have a decision yet, but he doesn't need to play it at the moment. But that caught me off guard. So Larry Fitzgerald's done. I still have the Cardinals winning that game. Like I said, I don't think AJ Green is going to be upset if he doesn't get the ball. And watch out for Rondale Moore. I will say watch out for Rondale Moore. I think he's going to do some good things there. I think he'll kind of step in for Larry.
I mean, I'm hoping for the best from Kyler because, like you, I have at least one team that's depending on Kyler. So I hope so. But I think this is the big season. This is the season that he really needs to show that he can hold the consistency. So yeah, we'll see. I hope he does because I'm a big Kyler fan.
Okay, and I do want to clarify. JDW, you are right. Culture Shock said Larry retired. Not you, JDW. I do apologize for mixing up the comments there. I'm just going by because there's a lot of comments today. Thank you all for commenting too.
Yes.
But JDW says that Cliff Kingsbury brought that check down type of offense from Texas A&M, and not a fan of that with Kyler. He's just not a fan of Cliff in general. Cliff's system is good versus some teams. And then JDW said he didn't say that Larry retired. That was a mistake on my part. I do apologize for that. Please forgive me. Jacob West, how you doing? I would bring your comment up, but StreamYard is not showing them on my end. JDW says maybe someone else did. It was Culture Shock. He says hello to Jacob. JDW says maybe he wants to take a year off, and he's like, never mind, he's mad old, and then Kyler needs to get better in the pocket. I do agree with that, for sure. But look, I like Kyler. I think Kyler's going to do good things in this game, and we have Jonathan back. Perfect timing. There we go.
Sorry
Jonathan,
about that.
Glad to have you back.
Sorry, my laptop's been acting up. I had to use my phone.
Oh, you're good. You're good. But we were just about ready to go to the next game, but I do want to get your thoughts really quick. Who do you have in the Cardinals-Titans game?
I'll keep it short and sweet. I will go to the Titans because I think they have a better defense than Arizona has. They still have some few missing parts and question marks on their defense. And I still think they will control the game for the most part. So I will go to Tennessee.
Okay. So I am alone on Arizona stepping up and getting the W. We'll find out. We shall find out. But next we're going to move on to the San Francisco 49ers as they travel to a very, very sad place in the football world right now as they play the Detroit Lions. I'm going to go to Jonathan on this one. Who do you have winning between the 49ers and the Lions?
This is very easy. I'm going the 49ers, winning very easily against the Lions. And the Lions are rebuilding, and basically there are a lot more pieces to go with. So I'm actually going to go with the 49ers.
Okay. For me, I'm also going to go to 49ers. Look, Detroit has nobody on the receiving end. I mean, they got Hawkinson. That's about it. They literally let the only other guy that they had go with Perriman. They don't really have anybody else on the receiving side of things that I'm confident in anyway. I mean, their run game is going to be pretty solid, I think. But I don't think they're going to really do much in this game. I think the 49ers just have the better defense. They have the better offense. So I got to go with the 49ers. Now I'm going to go to Alec next. But before I go to Alec, I'm going to get his thoughts on the game. But I also want to get his thoughts on this. Tom Pelissaro does report, and I'm seeing this because I just happened to look at my phone and this popped up. The Texans are signing Danny Amendola to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. He is coming home. What are your thoughts?
I like it, man. I mean, I think he's a good voice on the bench, I think, and I've always liked Danny Amendola, and we definitely need receivers. I mean, cutting Kiki, I believe Anthony Miller might not play this week,
Right.
So we definitely need a receiver on that end. So hey, I'm happy to have him.
All right, there you go. And then what are your thoughts on the 49ers and Lions game?
Probably our first blowout of the day, I think, is where I'm leaning. I was actually looking to see if I could find the odds for how much of an underdog Detroit was. Because if you got some money to like just kind of put to that, you have some extra money, yeah, why not put a unit on Detroit just in case? But yeah, it's going to be a blowout. Unfortunately, Jared Goff was traded into a horrible situation over there in Detroit. He only has one target, which is DJ Hawkinson. I'm hoping that DeAndre Swift can do something a little more so I can not have him sit on my bench all year long. But, I mean, I don't see it. This is just a bad team, which kind of sucks because I like Penny Sewell. I want to see him succeed. But unfortunately, at least this year, will not be with the Detroit Lions. So first blowout of the game. This will definitely keep Jimmy Garoppolo as a starter, without a doubt.
Look, as long as Penny doesn't have to go up against Kamoko Toure at all, then he should be good to go because he can't block him. I will say the 49ers are favored in this game by 7.5. So I think it could be even bigger. So if you want to take a shot, you bet on that 49ers line. This is not me telling you guys what to do. I'm just saying what I would do. If you end up losing money because of that, it is not on me. I'm going to go to some of the comments real quick. JDW says, did you guys see the story about the Florida State quarterback? Kind of like Alex Smith's story, very inspiring. I suggest you check it out. I did. I saw Milton. I'm a Notre Dame guy. A lot of people don't like Notre Dame, and I understand that. But they were playing Florida State, and then Milton comes in after that horrific injury he had 2 years ago with UCF. Just like people are saying that they're shocked that he was able to walk without pain, and he's out there playing football. And I thought that, look, the football gods, they like to do this to where somebody like that comes in and they're able to, bring their team back and win the game. I thought as soon as he went in, I was like, well, there you have it. Florida State's going to win this game. Luckily, they did not. They have some guys there in Florida State too. Watch out for some of the guys in Florida State. They got some really good athletes there, but and just really good receivers and all that good stuff. And they have a running back there too that's really good. But yeah, I think Milton is the guy. He's going to be starting for them, and I think he's going to lead Florida State to a pretty good record overall. Yeah, I unfortunately almost saw a loss. Very happy we got the W, but I was still happy to see him get out there and do his thing. JDW also is taking the 49ers in this game. So is Colts Loyalist and Culture Shock. They are all taking the 49ers. JDW says that Kyle Shanahan has the best system in the NFL. Don't at me. JDW also says the Niners had 31 players on IR last year, and we're still pretty good, which I do agree. And then JDW says, no, Kamoko Toure is just that good. I agree with that, but still, you don't want Penei Sewell to face against him every single week because that would be a nightmare for him. And then he says he likes Notre Dame. Thank you. His college team is in Arkansas. So there we have it. Now we're going to move on to the next game, and that is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. I'm going to go first on this one. I got the Bills winning this game. I feel like even though the Steelers are going to be really good this year, I think they're going to make the playoffs. They might even win that division. I still think Buffalo is better defensively and offensively than the Steelers. I think Buffalo's defense is going to have a really big year this year. I think they're going to play better than what they did last year and what some people are expecting. Obviously, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I mean, what else do you need on your offense? You have those two. You're in a good situation. So I think Josh Allen is enough for the Bills to win this game. I think it's going to be a really good game, though. I'm thinking like a 3 to 7 point win for Buffalo. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going to go to Alec next. Alec, who do you have winning this game?
This is tough, man. This is probably going to be, if any game goes to overtime, it might be this one, because I think a lot of people. I think the demise of the Pittsburgh Steelers has been greatly exaggerated. I don't think it's going to be as bad as everyone thinks it is. That defense is still top notch, and I'm hoping that TJ Watt gets his contract. Hopefully, because there's been word that they might try to lowball him again or do the whole Le'Veon Bell thing with TJ. So I hope that's not true. But being a Steelers fan, I'm excited to see Najee Harris. Like I said, I like that defense. But Josh Allen is in my top 3 for favorites to win MVP this year. I think Josh Allen makes a very big leap this year and just goes on a tear. Him and Stephon Diggs. I know people will try to bring down Josh Allen's success because of the addition of Stephon Diggs, but I think that they're mutually what is it like? They just go together. Like Stephon is succeeding because of Josh. Josh succeeding because of Stephon Diggs. It's just a great relationship between those two. So I'm going to take the Bills in a very close game. I was trying to see if what the odds were for this one, and this one has Buffalo as a 6.5 favorite, which is kind of crazy. It's not the closest that I've seen. So, like I said, the talk of Pittsburgh's demise has been greatly exaggerated, I think.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have in this game? As he freezes, but hey, he'll be back. I'm sure of it. I believe in his phone. Maybe. We'll find out. I'll go to some of the comments while we wait, though.
Yeah, I was just reading those.
Jonathan. Okay. Nope. Wait, we got him. Look at that. All right, okay. Jonathan, who do you have in this game?
Okay, well, first off, if TJ Watt decides to hold out, take maybe Le'Veon's bike, except don't make a terrible rap music video along with it during your holdout. Yeah. So just don't do that. And all right, other side. I don't think the Steelers are going to be horrible, but I think it will be okay. Like, I don't think they will be a bad team. I can see them maybe going like an 8-9 team, though. So I don't think they're going to be bad enough to do poorly this season. I don't think they will do great enough either. So I'm going to get the Bills beating the Steelers because I think the Bills get really great things to do all sides of the ball. They did really add it on the D-line with Gregory Rousseau, and I think they really – this is the year that they want to show the world that we're basically trying to show Kansas City we're basically the top of the AFC. So I think the Bills will beat the Steelers very handily. So it might be a close game. It depends on the situation of the offense with the Steelers, though. So I will have Buffalo, though.
Okay. Now I'll go to some of the comments before we move on to the next game. So JDW is taking Steelers in an upset. Jacob does say for more college football coverage, check out TMG Entertainment's new show, TMG Takes the Field. First episode airing soon. I do agree with that. Make sure you guys check out that episode.
That's awesome.
Culture Shock says Buffalo will win this game. JDW says, oh no, you did not just cross that line. Browns winning that division. I agree, JDW. I just think that the Steelers have a chance to win that division. I think they're going to be quite good, but I do believe that there's a
Tomlin doesn't have horrible seasons, man. Like he doesn't.
No, I mean he had a pretty good year with like Mason Rudolph as a starter. So I think they're definitely a team that could win. I think the Browns are winning the division, but I've said the Browns are going to win that division before, and then that offense just kind of crumbled because Odell and all that stuff. Baker doesn't play as well with Odell. Maybe that changes this year, but we'll find out. They did improve defensively, so we'll see. JDW says, Toy Story, bro, love Toy Story. They made each other better. Steelers, and then Colts Loyalist says Steelers, and then JDW says Tomlin is a legend. Absolutely. I do agree with that. So now we're going to move on to the next game, which is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. I'm going to go to Alec first. Alec, who do you have in this game and why?
It's funny. This is going to be the battle of two mediocre defenses because the Atlanta Falcons defense is really not good. If you look at that Cowboys game last year, and it didn't really get much better. And then the Eagles, I think, are a bad defense too. But I believe in Jalen Hurts a little more than I do a older Matt Ryan. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, most likely. It'll come down to who has the last possession. But I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think Jalen Reagor takes a step forward, and they've moved on from the JJ Arcega Whiteside horrible pick. And I think Jalen Reagor is actually going to be a good receiver for the Eagles, as well as Devontae Smith. So I'm going to go with the Eagles on this one. High scoring game, probably a close one, and it'll come down to the last minute field goal.
Okay. So now we're going to go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have in this game and why?
I don't think this game will do much, but I had to go maybe with Atlanta. I don't think this game will be that great to begin with, and I had to go with maybe the team was kind of more, at least some answers on there, than more the team that had questions, so I had to go with the Falcons.
I'm going to go Atlanta too. I unlike Alec, I don't have faith in Jalen Hurts at all. I don't think Jalen Hurts is really going to pan out this year. I honestly could see a world where Gardner Minshew takes over as the starter before the year ends. I actually think Gardner is a pretty solid quarterback. He's not a great quarterback by any means, but he did play on some really bad Jacksonville teams, and I thought he did all right for the most part. So I would be curious, even though Philadelphia is not that great of a team all around. I would be curious to see how he does with Philadelphia as a starter or with another team in general as a starter. I think Atlanta's offense is just too high-powered for Philadelphia to stop. Obviously, Kyle Pitts, we're going to see what he looks like. Will he pan out? Will he do good things or will he not? Calvin Ridley, I believe, is going to step up, and he's going to really go out there and just ball out. And I still have faith in Matt Ryan. He's older, yes. He might, start to see that decline, but the guy can still get you some numbers, So, and look, Mike Davis. I also like Mike Davis. I think Mike Davis is going to go out there and he's going to have a good game. I thought he did really well in Carolina when C-Mac was out. So I'm going to go Atlanta. I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a close game. But unless Atlanta goes back to their mid-season form, which is blowing games that they had big leads in, I think Atlanta wins this game. So I'm going to go to the comments now. And we're going to go with JDW. He says the Eagles are going to win. Culture Shock says Falcons. Jacob says Fly, Eagles fly. Colts Loyalist says Falcons are going to win. And then JDW says on the road to victory. So looks like it's pretty split all around between us and then also the comments as far as who's going to win this game. Now we're going to move on to the next matchup, which is something I'm pretty curious about. It's the Cleveland Browns going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. So we're going to start out with Jonathan on this one. Jonathan, who do you have, Browns or Chiefs?
This is one of the games I'm most looking forward to when the first blue schedule come out. So, and this is one of these games, if you've gone to who has the ball last. If whoever gets the ball last might potentially win the game. I love both their teams' off seasons. They did fix some significant issues, some flaws with their teams. And this is the both teams that I had them winning their division. And I wouldn't be surprised if after this game is over, we might see them in the playoffs again against each other. And I'm going to go closely for the Chiefs, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns won that game.
Okay. And before I get my pick out there real quick, if you guys haven't already, please like this stream. I want to get this out to as many NFL fans as possible. Comments have been a lot of fun. Let's get more people in the comments, and let's have a lot of fun in the comments. For me, I'm going Kansas City in this game, though. I think Kansas City is the much better team. I think they're much better than Cleveland, honestly. I think their defense is better than what some people give credit for. I think their offensive line has improved since their last, appearance in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Tyreek Hill is still Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce. They got some guys on the receiving end of things too. So, I'm pretty big on Kansas City this year. I think they win this game. I like Cleveland. I think Cleveland does have some guys too, obviously, but I think Kansas City gets the win here. So now we're going to go on to Alec. Alec, who do you see winning this game and why?
It's funny, and in situations like this where it's pretty evenly split and both of you guys pick one, I kind of want to go the other way, but I'm gonna be boring and pick the Chiefs. I want to be wrong so bad for this game because I feel like if the Browns can be what everyone wants the Browns to be and what they could be, we're looking at a 3-team race in the AFC with the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Browns. So I'm hoping to be wrong, but who if you bet against Patrick Mahomes ever, you should probably not be allowed to handle money because that is poor money management. So I'm going to say the Chiefs. A very, very fun game. Hopefully not as bad. I hope it's not as bad as the game in the playoffs. But there's a big possibility we might see this game in the playoffs again this year. So I'm going to take the Chiefs, though. Don't put money on this game.
Yeah, this is one I'm avoiding at all costs unless it comes down to will Patrick Mahomes get this many yards or will he not? And I'll tell you what, I did bet against him once, sir. I bet against him when the Colts played them in the regular season, and I won that bet.
Oh, that's true.
So, there you have it.
We also beat them that week, too.
No, we beat them.
No, I'm saying that week.
Oh,
the next week,
yeah,
we beat those Chiefs.
Yeah, true. But still, I'm just saying. We're going to go to some of the comments now. JDW says the Chiefs are going to win. So does Colts Loyalist and Culture Shock. And then Colts Loyalist says the Browns haven't shown they can beat a high-power offense.
I agree.
That is true. So I don't know. Maybe they do it this upcoming Sunday. I don't think they will. I think everybody is on the Chiefs in this game. Only people that think that the Browns are going to win is probably the Browns fans. Or
how
people
this
that like
upset. How this isn't Sunday Night Football is crazy.
I know.
What are you doing, NFL?
This one should be Sunday Night Football, but
or at least or Monday night. One of the Monday night games.
Yeah, well, they're only doing one this year.
Or they only doing one this year. Good.
Yeah,
just never stay awake.
Make the Browns Chiefs the early Monday night game. Just do it. But now we got a few games left to talk about today. We got the Packers and the Saints next. I'm going to go first on. Yeah, I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going Green Bay in this game. I think the Saints are going to surprise some people. I think the Saints are going to be better than what some people expect. But this is one of those games I wouldn't bet on either because what are we going to get with Jameis Winston? I think Jameis Winston could potentially be really good with the Saints. And if he's really good, that could completely change not just the division in the NFC South. That could change the entire NFC in general as far as where the Saints are going to rank at the end of the day. I have faith that the Saints are going to play well. I think they're going to have a good game, but I just think the Packers are better. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come in. He's going to do his thing. That defense, I think, is still one of the better defenses in the league. They're going to be able to do their thing. So I got the Packers in this game. Aaron Rodgers, I know people say he doesn't have weapons. He's got Devontae Adams. I think that's a pretty big weapon. And he's got some other guys too. So yeah, Tunyon. And then there's other guys I can't even think of, but they're still pretty good. Now we're going to go to Alec. Alex,
Yes.
Who do you have in this game and why?
The Packers. And it's crazy because 1 year ago, we're looking at this game as a great matchup, but what one off season can do to a team. Packers all the way in this one. I do think Jameis Winston can do something, especially he's got Alvin Kamara back there, but the loss of Michael Thomas for, I believe, half the year is going to hurt a lot. So he is going to have some trouble. But the Saints defense is actually not horrible. Like they can cause problems for I believe Aaron Rodgers, but not enough. So I'm gonna take the Packers probably by like 10.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have in this game?
I'm actually gonna go with the Packers. Pretty much everything both of you guys said.
Mm-hmm.
They. Excuse me.
Oh, excuse you.
Sorry.
Very good.
That's stuck in my mouth. I'll go with Green Bay because I think they're more to prove. This is basically their last chance with them. I believe so. This is basically they go all in or not. So I think we'll get easy victory against the Saints in Jacksonville, by the way.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the comments real quick, then we'll move on to the next game. JDW says, go Pack, go. I'm assuming he's taking the Packers in this game. Culture Shock says Packers. JDW says Tom freaking Grassi. Love the guy. And then Colts Loyalist says Rodgers farewell tour. Packers win. I do agree with that. I also think it could be Devontae Adams' farewell tour in Green Bay too. Depends what they can get done. But I don't know if that's my connection or not, or if it's Jonathan's connection. But we're going to move on to the next game. The next game we're going to talk about is the Denver Broncos. They're going to be taking on the New York Giants in this game. New quarterback for Denver with Teddy Bridgewater coming in. Can they become that team that we thought they were going to be a year ago? So I'm going to go to Alec first on this one. Alec, who do you have in this game and why? Maybe it is my connection. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I think my connection's going crazy. I don't think Alec heard me, but we're moving on to the Denver and Giants game. So, Alec, if you're there, who do you have in this game? Why? And if not, we'll go to Jonathan. All right, we're gonna go to Jonathan first. Jonathan, who do you have in this game and why?
Okay. What did the Broncos play again?
Wait, what?
What did the Broncos play again? I'm sorry.
Oh, they played the Giants.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Denver because Teddy Bridgewater at least he's sort of reliable stopgap option, and upon 10 and bridge quarterback to might give you a win or two or win like 5 or 6 games. So I'll go with the safe bet. I think I might just go with the Broncos.
Okay. And then if Alex there, we'll let Alex go. If not, I'll go next. Okay. So he might be doing something. I'm going Denver in this game. They should win this game rather easily. I think Denver's defense is too good for the Giants offense. I think the Giants have a really good defense, but I think because of how the Giants offense is going to play, I think it's going to affect their defense as well. I think the Broncos should win this game. But you know, it's not gonna be like a complete blowout, like by 20 whatever points. I'm thinking 10 to 15 points. So now we're gonna move on unless Alec is there. Alec, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna assume he's not there. He's gonna do something. We'll go back to him when I see him pop up. Because he might be doing something with his kid. And sorry if my connection's acting up. My internet's been a little wonky, and we have a storm coming, so that could be affecting my connection as well. But we're going to move on to the next game. It's the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots. We're going to get our first look at Mac Jones. And, you know, it's going to be Alabama quarterback versus Alabama quarterback. So for me, I'm assuming my internet's screwing up, which is wonderful. If not, you know, it is what it is. We'll continue. So I'm going to go Miami in this game. I feel like Miami is okay. And Jonathan, yeah, my internet's screwing up. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think my internet is getting choppy. We have a storm coming. We're on the Patriots Dolphins game. I'm going Dolphins in this game. I think the Dolphins are just the better team all around. I think Mac Jones is going to need a few games before he can really become that quarterback that New England thinks he can be. So I'm going Dolphins. They should win this game. But okay, so I guess they're saying my internet's fine. There we go. We got Alec back.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I didn't know if my internet was screwing up or not because Jonathan's thing on his camera, he had the circle. I was like, Alec's gone. He can't hear me. Oh, no, my internet's completely screwed up. And then Jacob said, don't worry. I can hear you, Matt.
Yeah, I had a kid having to go potty.
Okay, I figured you were with your kid, but like I said, I didn't know if it was my internet or if it was Jonathan's or what.
Yeah. He also caused me to miss my my first pick in my draft right now. So I ended up taking Derrick Henry at 3. So I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll bounce back for you because we did just finish talking about Denver and New York. I don't think you gave your prediction on that game. Who do you have winning the Denver and Giants game?
I think it's going to come down to defense, and I like that Denver defense a lot more. I think Danny Dimes might struggle in this week at least. I am not 100% sold on Danny Dimes, but I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just think he's been in some rough situations lately, so I will take the Broncos because I really like that defense.
Okay, and And the next game is the why did I say Panthers? Next game is the Dolphins Patriots. I do want to go to a few of the comments real quick, and then we'll go back to you. We have Tip saying sup. How you doing, Tip? I believe. No, I don't think I went through the comments for the last game. JDW says that he's taking the Broncos. So does Colts Loyalist and Culture Shock. And we got, I can't even pronounce your name. B.A. Andreas is your last name, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry. He says that game will suck. Neither team has a quarterback, but the Broncos have everything else down. Probably a defensive slugfest. Maybe. That could potentially be the case. If Teddy Bridgewater can get close to what he was like a few years ago in Minnesota, I think Denver could be a really scary team. But, yeah, it's going to depend on quarterback. Tip says, what's up to Marcus? Jacob says he can hear me just fine, which reassures me that is not my internet. I know we have a storm coming, so I didn't know if it was me. JDW is taking the Patriots in this game. So is Culture Shock. So is Colts Loyalist. And we got Michael Pittman Sr. in this. Look at that. Michael Pittman's dad in the house. So you guys need to apologize to Michael Pittman Sr. right now for taking the other team that is playing against his son. So you better apologize.
I changed my answer already.
Okay.
For now.
So, yeah, you're good. You're good. But, Jonathan, you have to apologize. Apologize to Michael Pittman Sr.
I'm sorry that some team didn't get you a chance back you play as a player. So I apologize for that. And also, I will apologize.
Okay. I'm sure he accepts your apology. I'm sure he does. If it is the real Michael Pittman Sr. Who knows? But if it is, hey, how you doing? Glad to see you're here. And then JT Miller says, let's go Colts. JDW says, let's go Colts. Absolutely, guys. Let's go Colts. And then Andreas, can't pronounce your first name, says, yeah, let's just take the Colts to win every match. Agree. And then Culture Shock thought that was funny. Look, it could be Michael Pittman Sr. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'll go back to you, Alec. Who do you have in this game between the Patriots and the Dolphins?
And he will not. We don't have to have picking the Colts every week. That's why I'm on the show, because I will not pick them every week. But I'm going to take Miami. Miami's going to be kind of my sleeper team in the AFC. I think they can compete for a wild card spot. I love Brian Flores behind Mike Tomlin. He might be my favorite coach in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going to take the Dolphins. But I'm really excited. I really want to see what Mac Jones can do. If Bill Belichick was willing to not just bench Cam Newton, but cut Cam Newton, this kid must be something special. So I'm gonna say Miami, but I will have my eyes on this game for sure.
Okay. Now we're gonna go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have winning this game and why?
I'm going with the Dolphins because I have had my sleeper wildcard team, so they really improved from last year, though, even from the year before, though. And I'm really a big fan of Brian Flores as a coach. I think we might see like a potential future great head coach of the league if he keeps this up with this team with the Dolphins. And battle of the Alabama quarterbacks is very interesting along with it. So I will go with the Dolphins by 2 points.
Alrighty. So that means the comments are disagreeing with us. So I will go to some of the more new comments. JDW says, we got 2 Colts players' dads in here. We got Naeem Hines' dad and Pittman's dad. That is true. For you guys that don't know, because I don't know if you watch Culture Shock stuff, which you should, by the way. Everybody here watching and everybody that's on the panel should watch Culture Shock's stuff. He makes good content, but he looks like Naeem Hines' dad. So, that's always been the joke. It's that, and then it's like Eric Ebron's dad is the other joke that everybody throws out there. So that is funny. And then Andrea says, don't worry about the name, man. Yeah, I know. I wish I could pronounce it, but, I am a dumb American. But now we're going to move on to our Sunday night football game, which is the Chicago Bears taking on the Los Angeles Rams. We're going to see Matthew Stafford on a new team. Can he live up to what a lot of people are expecting and help this Rams team potentially go on to win a division, maybe even make a Super Bowl appearance or 2? And then with the Bears, is Andy Dalton the guy for Chicago? You guys know my feelings on Andy Dalton. I'm going to go to Alec. We're going to go to Alec on this one. Who do you have winning between the Bears and the Rams?
I got the Rams. I think that Matthew Stafford's could possibly have another 5,000-yard season with this Rams team. Him and Sean McVay's offense, like this is the quarterback that Sean McVay has been wanting his entire time being in the league. He's a much better known for his offense, and yet his team is known more for his defense because of the fact that he had Jared Goff for the last couple of years. So he finally has this quarterback. He's going to be able to play around with that playbook he's got. I'm going to take the Rams, and this will only make the calls for Justin Fields so much louder. But Rams all the way in this game.
All righty. Now we're going to go to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have in this game and why?
I'm going to go with the Rams, though, because they're more well-rounded team. I think McVay finally going to release his playbook right here around Stafford, though, which he didn't do 100% though with Goff. And I think they will have a more well-rounded defense along with it, and basically get more prepared than Chicago has. And that's the reason I will go to maybe for the Rams.
So for me, I think this is going to be a great game. I really do. I think the Bears have a pretty good defense. I don't think it's like a great defense. They did lose some pieces. Fuller was a pretty big loss for their secondary. But I still think they have a pretty good defense. And look, man, I'm a believer in Andy Dalton. I believe in the guy, okay? He took the Bengals to some playoffs, okay? The guy's good. He just needs a decent team around him. What's going to hurt him, though, is that offensive line in Chicago. That offensive line is terrible. They need to add to the offensive line. That's what they need to focus on in the draft and in the offseason if there's going to be any good offensive linemen available, which is not very common, but still. They need to improve that offensive line. But I like Robinson. I like Montgomery. They got some guys there too, but the Rams, I just feel like they're too good. That offense, I think, is going to be really good this year with Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. Those two with Matthew Stafford are going to do really good things. The running game could be a question. That's something we could question, but I think the run game is still going to do pretty good this year. And then obviously the Rams have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I don't think a lot of people are going to disagree with that. You have Aaron Donald and you have Jalen Ramsey on your defense. That's pretty good. So I'm going to go with the Rams in this game. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I got to go the Rams. So now we're going to go to the comments. Culture Shock says, wow, LOL, because of the Naeem Hines and Eric Ebron comparisons. Colts Loyalist says that Patriots are going to take second in the AFC East. Good defense, 2 good tight ends, and a good offensive line. I do agree they have those things. The only reason why I think it's going to be a little bit before Mac Jones plays well is because, I think he's going to need some time to develop. But who knows? The guy does make smart throws, so maybe he goes in there and plays really well. Culture Shock is taking the Rams in this game. Colts Loyalist is also taking the Rams, and JDW is taking the Bears. He says he's going with the upset. JDW says the Rams, and that's because the Bears defense has a few advantages. The O-line is okay. The run game may struggle, and it's Stafford's first real game action with all his weapons. That is true. And the offense will do just enough. The Bears are going to run all over the Rams. The Rams struggle against the run. The Ebron comparison is just disrespectful. Look, I'm not saying he looks like Eric Ebron. I'm not saying that. People have said that, but I'm not saying that. Naheem Hines' dad, that I'm saying. But, yeah, I'm not saying that he looks exactly like Eric Ebron. I just thought that was funny. And then Corey Miller is taking the Rams by 14. I think it's going to be a really good game, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
That's my brother, Corey Miller. Thank you for joining.
Okay, yeah. Hey, shout out to you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. That's awesome. But we got our final game of the week, and then we're going to wrap things up. We got the Ravens taking on the Raiders. So I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Ravens in this game. I think it's going to be a really good game, but I just think the Ravens defense is going to do enough to slow down the Raiders offense. And I don't think the Raiders defense is really going to be able to stop Lamar in that offense. I think they win this game. I think Bell is going to have a pretty solid game in his first, game out there as a Raven. I think that obviously Gus Edwards is going to have a really good game too. Lamar is going to run all over them, but he's also going to throw and have a pretty good game throwing the ball too. So I'm going to go Ravens. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything, but I think by the end of the fourth quarter, the Ravens will eventually pull away, but it should be a fun game, from the first to the third quarter. So now we're going to go to Alec. Alec, who do you have in this game and why? And you're muted, by the way.
You're muted, man.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I have like a million things open right now. Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I think that they're just a little bit better, even though they have the loss of J.K. and Justice. They're not going to – I think Lamar's still going to have a really good game. Not sure if I believe in this Raiders team. I think they're on the right track, just not there yet. So I'm going to take the Ravens in this game. And Lamar Jackson doesn't play bad on Monday nights. He plays really well on Monday nights. So I'm thinking that he's going to do the same thing here.
True. All righty. And then we're going to go to Jonathan, and then we're going to wrap things up. Jonathan, who do you have in this game and why?
I'm going to go with the Ravens because they're basically – the defense is way better than the Raiders ever had, and even better options to assume schemes than the Raiders themselves. So I'm actually going to go with the Ravens.
All righty. And there you guys have it. So I'm going to read through some of the comments real quick, and then we'll call it a show. Culture Shock was saying LOL, I think, to the Ebron thing with me saying that he's, doesn't look exactly like it. I'm just saying. People have said it, not me. Believe me on that. JDW says that Bears are going to win by 4. And then Colts Loyalist is taking the Ravens in this game. JDW says the Ravens. I said Raiders. The Ravens are going to run all over the Raiders, and it's not going to be a good game. I tend to disagree, but hey, it might be a blowout, maybe not. I'm hoping for a great game, and then Culture Shock is taking the Ravens. So that is going to do it. Thank you all for joining us today. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Definitely a lot of fun. We'll definitely be back next Tuesday with another episode going into week 2, talking about some of the other news and all of that good stuff. So thank you all for tuning in. For Jonathan and Alec, I've been Matt. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have a good one, y'all.